Now, the showdown between the ACCC and supermarket giant Coles over suspect discounts continues in the federal court today. National Consumer Affairs reporter Michael Atkin is following the hearing. Michael, there was a particular focus about these down promotions. What has the ACCC been arguing there?
The ACCC case is that consumers were misled when they went into shops or shopped online, that for 245 products, really common household items, that Coles had misled consumers by suggesting that prices were going down, as that famous promotion calls it, when in fact prices were higher or about the same as the original price. And so what we really got an insight into is the ACCC case yesterday. They outlined it for most of the day, and they went much harder than probably was expected. They said that Coles had planned this, that it was deliberate, and cited internal emails where Coles staff were talking about what Woolworths was doing with product discounting, that it was raising prices really quickly before slashing them and putting them in that discount promotion inside Woolworths stores much faster than what Coles was doing. And so there was discussion about, well, you know, we need to push our compliance team to try and catch up. They're moving but not far enough. And there was also an interesting email that talked about staff being shocked about what was happening and saying, well, we should go to the ACCC about this. And counsel for the ACCC said, well, that's exactly what they should have done, but in fact they didn't do that. What they did is made changes to their internal policies so that they could engage in the misleading conduct that is now the subject of this case, and that the pricing that was done in almost all of the examples in this case wouldn't have been possible under those internal policies before they were changed.
When does Coles reply?
Coles started talking yesterday, and the Coles defence is twofold. It's saying, well, has anybody looked at the inflation charts from around this time? You know, the period in question is 2022 and 2023, and inflation was skyrocketing then. It peaked above 8%, and it said it had unprecedented calls from suppliers to increase product pricing. And also it says, well, what's the problem here with what we did? Because we actually told the consumer in our shops clearly what the price was, and that was accurate. So if it was $6, we said it was $6, and then we showed you it's now $4.50 and that's your saving. And so it was a genuine discount. This idea that the ACCC says that it was fake is wrong, but actually the ACCC says what matters is you need to have a look at the history of pricing of the items. And, you know, in most of the cases, it's one price, a lower price was offered for a really long period of time. They gave an example of dog food, of it existing at one price of $4 for 300 days, and then it being jacked up by 50% for just 7 days before it was discounted and put in the down promotion. But that price was actually 50 cents more than the original price it was on for 300 days. So, you know, the ACCC is trying to mount this argument that all customers who bought those products and saw that promotional discount, they were misled, that Coles was deliberately disguising price rises as price savings, and that's misleading under the law. And Coles will have much more to say in terms of their defence and hitting back today.
And what has consumer group Choice had to say about this case?
Choice has said that actually this area of promotional pricing, it's not just confusing in the supermarkets, but in many retail sectors. And actually that companies can have a look at this right now and change their practices so that they're more transparent in pricing with consumers, because this area is called was now pricing. We've all seen this when we go into shops where there's one original price that's much higher, it's got the big cross through it, and there's a lower price that is meant to be the saving price. You're meant to feel great about how much money you're saving. But Choice says you need more context around pricing, and you want to know what the history of the price is with much more context to be able to make a decision about, well, actually, is this a good deal or not?
National Consumer Affairs reporter Michael Atkin, thank you.